Wars. Oh, Star Wars. You could have been the darling of it culture. You know what happened? You had to sell out to a company called Disney. Yep. Whenever another company tries to sell out to another company, to make sure the company don't act like a virus. Like, for instance, how I think the acquisition of certain, like, that's the thing, right? Companies like Disney that have that special essence do not buy anything because they have like this whole plea to make everything family friendly. Plea to make everything family friendly. It's ruining your brand. This is the problem. Your plea make every little thing a family friendly, happy go lucky, most magical place on earth, not even the happiest place on earth type of thing. That's pretty much ruined my brand, your brand for me. It's ruined Star Wars too. Played it way too safe in areas and the sequel trilogy took risks way too much. You shouldn't have taken risks or played it safe. You should have taken a risk, not with this episode 7, not even dare to do what you did with The Force Awakens. Just made a sequel trilogy that actually continues the story. It's Luke facing off against Yu Zhong Vong, kicking ass and taking aim. Has like Rey not being named Bray, but Kyra possibly a reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker, not Sen Luke, not both. Apparently, you guys are so freaking idiotic. You thought we need to have X-wings and Tie Fighter. That's what will make people nostalgic, rather than actually continuing the story like the expanded universe did. That there's no source material, even though you just canonize every ounce of the source material and just declare them non-canon. You could have adapted that. I'm like, how the hell are you even do you even have a job, Kathleen? Wars, they're letting you get away with it. I'm not. I'm not gonna let you get away with it. I think this was wrong. What you did with the sequel trilogy, and I think you should have started George scripts, or at least do a more creative or new sequel trilogy that didn't rely on nostalgia bait like X-wing and Tie Fighter. It also felt like its own era, and I'm like, George, you should have made Underworld. Disney asked you to buy them. Hey, you should have made Underworld in 1313. You should have done that sooner, honestly. I heard that if you made those projects, Disney would have never bought Lucasfilm. They would have never bought it. And that's the problem, right? You should those projects are gonna be made under HBO. He said it was the only studio capable of making it, judging by Game of Thrones, The Last of Us TV show, and the HBO Harry Potter. Yeah, I think they're capable. I think but I think they're more than capable of handling Star Wars. Is more than capable of handling Star Wars. I think no fucking clue how to write Star Wars. Disney, Disney, what the fuck did you do to Star Wars? Like, this hurts my head. It hurts. Or I think about those godforsaken sequels. Okay, they are godforsaken. Not to mention, I got a Star Wars PS4 Pro before the last day came out, and I'm mad I got that. This is still of my normal PS4, by the way. Like, is this really it for you guys? Are you gonna continue making sludge day in and day out? Honestly, I think you're gonna kill this franchise. I think Star Wars was originally supposed to be a forever franchise. Rey is a nobody. Anakin is better than Rey. Luke is better than Rey. Obi-Wan especially is better than both. and Anakin if you count the sequel trilogy. Count Legends, that's a different story. Obi-Wan's just as good as Luke. He just had a few nightmares, had to deal with and had to make sure that Luke never ended up like Anakin, to the point where he actually protected Luke on Tatooine. Anakin turned to the dark side, but in Legends, but at the same time, he still redeemed himself. Those three characters go true for any other story. Rey sucks. And Kylo doesn't exist. Even worse. Are you ready for this? Ready? I'm absolutely livid at how you've handled. Seriously, drinking green milk from Space Scout Ted, Luke dying of getting fucking tired. How the fuck do Jedi die from getting tired, Disney? Like, I think you need to at least admit what the hell you've done wrong to your fans. Reimbursing them. Problem is, the post-shift timeline right. Apparently, I heard post-shift timeline you're saying yes. $40,000 if you enjoyed Star Wars at all. Banning you and making an exclusive version for Star Wars. Star Wars for the Martian audience. Are you fucking insane? Do you realize that Wilfred may have had to pay that $40,000? Oh my gosh! A year's salary for some people. My mom, when she got advanced, she's a little bit poor now because she got advanced to a higher job with a less bigger pay. This is nuts what you've done. Stop where you're at right now. Trace search steps and do the George Lucas trilogy. Otherwise, I'm like, why? Let's just say this. You said Luke is a mistake. He should have never existed. Anakin is just cheese. You can go so far as to say, oh, Jar Jar Binks. Chosen one. That far. Jar Jar Binks and Rose Tico 2 in the Chosen One in that thing. What's even weirder that are you ready for this? People in our timeline, I bet you're gonna. I think my other two pals are gonna be forced into boot camp. Me, not only will I be banned for a few years, but after that, they're gonna force me into a fan boot camp. 2030s post shift will not be fun for me until the 2040s. 40s, fine. If post shift doesn't happens in 2034, 3, then to wait until 2032 to 2034. I'm like, you're gonna do that, Disney. You're literally gonna not only ban me for a while, but after I'm unbanned, send me to a fucking fan boot camp. Are you nuts? We're like some of the last Star Wars fans left, and you're telling me I have to be sent to fan boot camp after being unbanned. Other people, the last few Star Wars fans left, what are the 3 of them that are left? 75% of them are going to be real fans that are left. Apparently, they're just going to go straight to the fan boot camp. So, not me. They're basically saying, because you were tied to your alternate universe self, Wilfred, ban you until a certain movie in the RNCU, in the at the end of the first phase. I'm like, are you fucking crazy, Disney? Are you nuts? Is this out of your fucking mind? where you've lost all common sense and decency. Granted, yes, Nintendo pricing, I will admit, Sony, what am I saying? Sony pricing the PS5 Pro for $900 with this drive and vertical stand. That's nuts. Granted, I do think that's because it's a luxury model. It's a lot cheaper still. Your $13 to $1,500 Disney Blu-ray collection that only the rich can afford. Then what do you have? You have the frickin'. You have like what? You have what? You have Nintendo. Fine. I'll admit, $90 for physical games for $80 is nuts. Time, if you were an N64 fan, like me, retro collecting back in the day, know that those games, adjusted for inflation, used to cost $90. Technically, the Switch 2, even though it's a lot in the same position as the N64 is. But I'll admit this. Prices are even more nuts. We're talking your prices. Spending thousands of dollars. Like we went to Vegas and spent a little less than half as much. Family of 6 went to Disney World and $8,900 something. I'm not kidding about that. That is real. We spent less money at Vegas and gambled most of our budget away. Bad because then we did losing money in yes. Oh, you were using that. I didn't know. I was wondering what was about. And basically what I'm saying here is I was talking to somebody else, but basically what I'm saying here is you're telling me your 4K Blu-rays now cost as much as like most physical games on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Granted, I do think game price is getting higher. I'm like, get the heck out of here, Disney. You're charging twice as much for 4K Blu-rays than your competitors are charging. Now you're telling me you're gonna literally... Oh my gosh. This is a nightmare. This is a nightmare. Look, Disney. I don't think you should. For my sake, if you do decide not ban me from your MCU in film 1, whatever this Kamala Turzo character is, for the sake of me being able to still watch Star Wars, to conclude Marvel with Avengers Forever, being able to actually know what the heck happens at the end of the MCU, even if the characters get recast, of my version of it. Not only that, but apparently, on top of that, also know what the heck happens in, let's just say, your version of the NC, what happens in the George Lucas cut of Star Wars. For that sake. I'm not going to care about Kamala and Turzo. I'm only going to be in that movie, the Smash movie, if it means, depending on what you do, first Smash movie, because I did hear that you're considering doing that. The fact that you're going to, I think you should do that just for the sake that I get an actual proper conclusion to Star Wars, a good conclusion to Marvel instead, at least a conclusive ending to my version. I'm like, wow. Dude, Yeah. Bye.